At JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, SOEs reimposed in several parishes. Prime Minister Andrew Wholeness has once again declared states of emergency SOEs in several parishes. In a press briefing on Tuesday, Wholeness stated that SOEs will now be in effect in St. Anne, Clarendon, St. Catherine, and the specified areas of Kingston and St. Andrew. St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover are also under states of emergency.
Excellency, the Governor-General, the Most Honourable Sir Patrick Allen, declared 2 states of public emergency. One in the entire parish of St. Anne, Clarendon, St. Catherine, and specified areas in the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew. The other is in the entire parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover. The government, after careful consideration on the advice of the security chiefs, decided to advise the Governor-General that it was necessary and indeed appropriate to declare states of public emergency in these areas. Since the end of the last state of emergency, we have seen, unfortunately, an increase in criminal activities in these areas and indeed a threat to property and in some instances public disorder.
The Prime Minister declared SOEs in 7 parishes on November 15. However, the government's effort to have the states of emergency extended until January 14, 2023 was refused by opposition leader Mark Golding. The opposition leader argued that the repeated use of SOEs by the Wholeness administration since 2017 has been a subversion of our constitutional order, which I don't support as it is inconsistent with my parliamentary oath. He also cited court cases which he said have seriously questioned the constitutionality of the SOEs and noted that the government was disregarding the cardinal constitutional principle of respecting the separation of powers among the 3 branches of the state. Wholeness informed at the press briefing that as the Christmas season approaches, there is a need to protect life and property.
We are entering the Christmas season, and I want all Jamaicans to be able to enjoy the Christmas season, free from the threat of violence. We have some really serious criminal threats facing us, and we have to use all the powers at our disposal. I believe Jamaica understands that while the government is trying to improve the legislative framework, improve the capacity of our police to be able to execute their jobs with greater technology, greater efficiency, greater training, in the interim, we have to ensure that our homicide rate and the level of violence that citizens experience on a daily basis does not get to the point where it threatens the collapse of the state. There are several countries in this region where the level of violence, criminally organized violence by gangs, are threatening the very foundations of the state. We will not have that in Jamaica as long as I am your Prime Minister.
Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, says the reimposition of the states of emergency, SOEs in several parishes, was necessary after an increase in murders following the expiration of the emergency measure last week. According to Anderson, since the discontinuation of SOEs 7 days ago, 22 murders have been committed across the island, with 17 of those killings occurring in areas where SOEs had expired.
And in the weeks since the state of public emergency, 20 of the 27 murders recorded nationally were committed in the divisions where the states of public emergencies were previously declared. In other words, at the end of the 14-day period, the divisions where the states of public emergency were in effect recorded an overall 64% decline in murders. That is 17 murders compared to 47 that were recorded 14 days prior. In the 7 days since the SOEs, nationally, 22 murders have already been recorded, 17 of which have been in the divisions where the SOEs were declared. It is important that we put the impact of the SOE into perspective with these numbers and the fact that within the first 10 days of the state of public emergency, there was one murder recorded from the border of Manchester and Clarendon, through Clarendon, St. Catherine, through St. Andrew South, Kingston West, Kingston Central, Kingston East, to the border of St. Thomas. One murder in the first 10 days.
5 men shot, one fatally in St. Mary. The St. Mary police are investigating the fatal shooting of a man who was among 5 friends shot by gunmen while walking in Stewart Town in the parish shortly after 2 a.m. Tuesday. A police source said that the men were walking along the Stewart Town main road near Orcabessa when a car drove up with several men aboard. The occupants of the vehicle allegedly fired shots, hitting the men. The vehicle sped off following the shooting. It was later discovered that 4 of the men were suffering from gunshot wounds. Another died as a result of injuries received during the gunfire. The deceased name has not yet been ascertained. Motorcyclist in custody following ammunition seizure in Westmoreland. A motorcyclist in Westmoreland was taken into custody after a police team seized a box of ammunition during an operation in George's Plain in the parish on Monday. Reports from the Savamore police are that about 3:40 p.m., lawmen were in the area when the motorcyclist was signaled to stop. The driver was searched and a box containing 14 9mm rounds of ammunition was taken from him. The motorcyclist was subsequently taken into custody. His identity has been withheld pending further investigations. Man charged after illegal gun seized in Olympic Gardens. 24-year-old Recoy Bygrave of South Plum Lane, Kingston 11, was arrested and charged following a firearm seizure on Sunday. Reports from the Olympic Gardens police are that about 10 a.m., lawmen were patrolling the Olympic Gardens community when Bygrave was seen acting in a manner that aroused their suspicion. He was accosted, searched, and a Tang Foglio 9mm pistol containing 10 9mm cartridges was removed from his waistband, according to the police. Bygrave was subsequently taken into custody and charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. His court date is being finalized. 4-vehicle pileup in Westmoreland, no injuries reported. Several people, including students, narrowly escaped injury following a 4-vehicle pileup along the Belmont Main Road in Westmoreland on Tuesday morning. According to one of the drivers, a Honda Fit was parked along the roadway facing the direction of Savamore when a white Toyota Corolla stopped behind it. He stated that a blue Toyota Corolla heading to Savamore crashed into the white one, causing it to veer right and collided with a Toyota Voxy, which was heading in the opposite direction before slamming into a wall. The driver of the blue Toyota Corolla blames the Honda Fit driver for the crash. The man them in the Honda Fit and never park on the corner and I put in them tool. That wrong. Or them for drive out of them yard and then stop for do that. Them shouldn't do that in them yard, one of the drivers argued. Traffic was at a standstill as workers attempted to remove the vehicles. Kingston bearer accused of stealing motorcycle and cash. A bearer has been charged with robbery with aggravation and illegal possession of firearm stemming from an incident on Mile Road in Kingston on Friday, November 11. Charged is 26-year-old Stephen Bentley of Olympic Way in the parish. Reports are that a man was pounced upon by 2 armed men who robbed him of his motorcycle and cash. On Friday, November 18, Bentley was found in possession of the motorcycle. He was subsequently arrested and charged following a question and answer session. Wholeness goes to Washington for help with crime. Prime Minister Andrew Wholeness is to leave the island Tuesday afternoon for Washington, where he is slated to discuss security matters with a slew of U.S. state agencies. Wholeness announced the meetings during Tuesday morning's press conference at the office of the Prime Minister in St. Andrew, where he again declared states of emergency in several parishes. He said that the aim of the meetings, among other things, is to try to sever the link between overseas players in the criminal underworld and those on the island, which often results in murders and bloodshed. Wholeness said the meetings are to start the process of getting a more intense cooperation in treating with the foreign actors in our local crimes. He is expected to meet with the Justice Department, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and other state agencies. I am serious. If you're overseas and you're sponsoring, directing and soliciting, if you're financing crime in Jamaica, we're going to get you, the Prime Minister said. He said that the move is part of efforts to build the capacity to fight the level of crime within the country without resorting to emergency powers. Those dons, those who have migrated overseas, that in this season they'll be sending the bag of rice and all the other goodies in the bag, but secreted in that bag of rice, wrapped up in that blanket, will be a gun or ammunition or parts thereof, not to your benefit, but to give to another youngster to kill. They can't feel that they are free to influence, direct, solicit, and finance crime in Jamaica, Wholeness said. In sports news, Fowler, one of the greatest netballers, having won a record 5th straight Player of the Year award in the Australian Suncorp Super Netball League this season, President of Netball Jamaica NJ, Tricia Robinson, has declared that Sunshine Girls captain and goal shooter Fowler should not be considered the greatest of all time, GOAT. The 33-year-old Fowler led all players in the league this season with 1,668.5 total points, 929 goals, and 55 offensive rebounds on her way to helping the West Coast Fever to second place in the league table with 32 points from their 12 games. Her 929 goals this season is a record for the most goals in a season in the Suncorp Super Netball League. Fowler also has an outstanding showing for the Sunshine Girls at this year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England, where she led the Jamaicans to historic silver at the championships. She's the GOAT for the sport of netball, said Robinson. I wish for her continued success, and I'm happy that she is able to inspire and motivate future Sunshine Girls, and little girls can look up to her and aspire to be like her, she said. This is a marvelous achievement for her, and we're looking forward to even better things from her, Robinson said. We at Netball Jamaica are extremely proud of her, and we're delighted for her, Robinson added. In football news, Arnett Gardens beat Mullines United in Premier League. Arnett Gardens came from a goal down to beat Mullines United 2-1 at the Antonis Pauline Sports Complex on Monday night as they rebounded from their loss to Montego Bay United in their previous game. Ezron Simpson equalized in the first half before Marlon Allen scored the winning goal in time added as Arnett Gardens overtook Montego Bay United for third place on goal difference with both clubs on 10 points. Rayshawn Livingston gave Mullines United the lead after 5 minutes, but Simpson leveled the score 3 minutes later. The game appeared headed for a draw until a minute into time added at the end of the second half, when Allen scored the winner for the Arnett Gardens team as 9th place Mullines United lost for the 3rd time this season. In the first game, Javik McFarlane's 86th-minute goal gave Portmore United their first win of the season, edging promoted Chapelton Maroons 1-0, also at the Antonis Paulins complex. The win ended a 4-game run where Portmore drew all their games and shot up to 7th in the table on 7 points, same as Humble Lion. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.